Hello students, welcome to today's presentation. I, Dr. Bhumija Chauhan, working as Associate Professor in International School of Informatics and Management, Jaipur. Today, we will start with a presentation on the important topic of business ethics and corporate governance subject, that is theory of Guna. Theory of Guna is an important topic in the module 8 of subject, which is a core paper in MBA 4th semester, Business Ethics and Corporate Governance. So let's start with today's presentation. The presentation covers, or the topics being covered in today's presentation would be introduction to the theory, what are Guna, how we can classify Guna, the characteristics of each Guna, and what is the important role of Guna which can be used or whose impact and influence can be used in organizational functioning. So let's begin with presentation on Guna theory. The term Guna is used in various branches of Sanskrit literature like the Upanishads, the Purans, the Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, as well as in different systems of Indian philosophy. The meaning of this important term also varies in different works. In general, this term has been extracted from Sanskrit word, which means quality, peculiarity, attribute, or tendency. A guna is a tattva or element of reality that can affect our psychological, emotional, and energetic states. The gunas are essentially created as a component of Sankhya philosophy. Gunas play a major concept in most of the schools of Indian philosophy. The Sankhya system accepts Guna as the component of Prakriti or the nature. Prakriti that defines an individual's personality or a human behavior. It affects the psychological, emotional, and energetic state of mind of humans. Hence, gunas plays major role in constituting the prakriti or the personality of an individual. The word guna is used to denote many meanings. Generally, it means quality or character of a thing. Guna also means a cord, a string, or a thread which constitute material existence. These threads of reality bind us to the world of change. Anything which an individual could see, sense, hear, smell, feel in the physical environment or the universe in his surrounding is the result of these gunas in different proportions. It's already been discussed that Prakriti is the root cause of the world, which is constituted of these factors, which are being called as gunas. In the Encyclopedia of Indian Philosophy, it is said that Samakhya or Guna is a cord or thread which constitutes a strand or primordial maternity. Gunas are the characters or qualities that govern our nature and behavior. Gunas pervade anything. They cover much more than just the physical plan. Subtle things like speech, smell, thought are better understood within the context of gunas. The theory of guna may be determined as most distinguishing feature of Samakhya system. In Samakhya system, Prakriti, the first cause of the universe, is one but complex, and its complexity is the result of its being constituted of these factors, each of which is called as guna. It has already been mentioned that guna means a constituent, element, or component. It is not an attribute or a quality. The most remarkable feature of Guna theory is that this theory traces the nature of men back to physical cause. Pleasure, pain, and apathy not only exist as subjective an individual experience, but have their objectivity which concerns the real correlation in the external world. The gunas were created as an essential component of Samakya philosophy, but in present time it has been used in most of the schools of Indian philosophy. Gunas are the major role player in defining the individual aspects of the human personality. The gunas were created and distinguished to form the essential qualities of someone or something, and these patterns can highly influence the path of progress of life awareness of gunas. These gunas can play a role of GPS to allow humans to make choices to be more balanced, peaceful, and harmonious, both on and off the mind. Gunas basically represents the pattern of interplay which defines the essential qualities of someone or something, and they help every human being to take decisions which are more balanced, more real. As we can see, gunas can be classified into three major elements or components which are to be seen on the picture as Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. If we try to focus the picture, we find that Sattva seems to be more simple as compared to Guna, Rajas, and Tamas. The picture denotes Rajas and Tamas to be more complex than Sattva. Let's see how these moves. All gunas represent or are present in all beings and objects surrounding us, but vary in their relative amount. They act together and never exist in isolation. We humans have the unique ability to consciously alter the levels of gunas in our bodies and minds, but they cannot be separated and moved in oneself, but can be consciously acted upon to encourage their increase or decrease. A guna can be increased or decreased through the interaction and influence of external objects, lifestyle practices, and thoughts, but they cannot be dissociated. They interact and compete, all the three, in the same individual, resulting in dominance of one over the other. The degree of dominance of a particular guna determines an individual's personality. The different proportion of these gunas present in a human body or human mind influence the mental and intellectual caliber of every individual. Guna indicates attitude with which human mind functions. Dominance of a particular guna determines individual personality. In other words, they are not only coexistent, but they cohere also. This intrinsic interdependence of guna excludes the possibility of breaking up of prakriti by their separation. Let's see in the next picture, which basically depicts the hierarchy of guna, which shows sattva to be more dominant or more precise over rajas and tamas. We will take the characteristics of these guna individually in our further slides. By seeing the picture, we can consider sattva to be most superior to other two gunas, that is rajas and tamas. The gunas have been stated in the following order in Indian writings, where sattva depicts spiritual attribute, rajas depicts passion, and tamas depicts slothfulness. All individuals possess the characteristics of more than one guna simultaneously, with the predominance of one over another. If we try to see the combinations which have been formed by interaction of sattva, rajas, and tamas, we can see on the picture of the slide that the combination formed are sattva, rajas, sattva, and tamas, rajsattva. According to Bhagavad Gita, the consequence of every guna are different and they may lead to sukh, dukh, and moh respectively. If we try to focus the characteristics of guna on the comparative table, you can see the three of the gunas being differentiated on different aspects or parameters. Let's take the guna individually as their characteristics. The first to begin is sattva. Sattva is the first guna, which means real or existent. Generally, consciousness is granted with sattva. Sattva is the potential consciousness, so goodness and happiness are produced from sattva. Sattva is used to signify the power of nature that illuminates and reveals all. It manifests itself as light. The power of reflection in a mirror, the mind, the intellect, the luminosity of light, etc., all are due to sattva. We can see on our slide that all the characteristics being represented by sattva shows the positivity of human attitude. Sattva is being followed with various considerations: state of harmony, balance, joy, intelligence. Sattvic qualities are delight, happiness, peace, wellness, freedom, love, compassion, and empathy, friendliness, focus, self control, satisfaction, etc. Sattva is being followed by Rajas, which is the second guna, which is derived from the root ranj. Rajas is used to signify the power of nature, which affects and moves the other two constituents. Rajas is the activating and exciting power without which the other constituents cannot move. Its function is to move things and overcome resistance. Rajas is responsible for all motion and change that goes on throughout the nature. It is source of activity. It helps Sattva and Tamas to become and perform their part. Sattva is a characteristic of restlessness and activity, which makes an individual run after goals difficult to conquer. Sattva is a motionless guna, while Rajas is a guna which provides activity and motion. It has been characterized by love, fame, passion, lust, impatience, jealousy, pride, display of power, etc. Rajas is state of energy. It is the quality that makes the mind active, passionate, or restless. It is the aspect which is continuously moving, which does not allow the mind to be quiet and peaceful. Sattva and Rajas are being followed by the third guna, that is Tamas, which is darkness. Tamas is used to signify the power of nature, which restrains, abstracts, and envelops the other two constituents by counteracting the deeds of Rajas to do work and Sattva to reveal. Restraining and binding are its nature. It produces the nature of indifference and ignorance. Tamas hinders the power of manifestation in the mind, the intellect, and thereby produces ignorance and darkness. Tamas leads to passivity and negativity in things. It produces apathy and indifference coupled with illusion, characterized by anger, greed, ignorance, resistance, inertia, forgetfulness, confusion, darkness, brutality, etc. Other tamasic qualities can be laziness, disgust, attachment, depression, helplessness, doubt, guilty, shame, boredom, addiction, hurt, sadness, apathy, confusion, etc. Tamas is a gun which projects a dull, lazy, or lethargic energy. Tamas things brings out energy right down. They tend to make an individual almost inert. It exhibits sloth, delusion, ignorance, confusion, etc. As it has been already mentioned, that the whole external world is made up of these three elements. Each element or object of cognition possesses the quality or capacity of producing three different feelings in the minds of human beings, that is, pleasure, pain, infatuation, or indifference. When we try to talk about working with the talks of these gunas indispensable and form the part of human personality. The problem arises when R and T, that is Rajas and Tamas, predominates S, that is Sattva, making it highly submissive. It is what happens to the individual in the present scenario of our society. Due to dominancy of SRT, that is Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, there is dominance in the form of feeling of anger amongst the youth, corruption in bureaucracy, brutal murders, feelings of envy and distress in organization, leading to increase in the number of people affected by depression and mental dissatisfaction in present scenario. If S is being enhanced or Sattva is predominating the other two gunas, the quality of work life through a proper understanding of rights and duties, ego and self-respect increases. An effective leader possesses predominating S, which helps in making him a leader. A good manager helps to manage the teams, make him effective, and also becomes the predominating leader and example for the individuals to follow. When we try to find the impact of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, which has also been denoted as SRT theory, the other name to the Guna theory, we see that organizations whose foundations are built upon S, that is higher Sattva, they are forming and performing firmly. The organizations with the foundation built upon R, that is Rajas, keep on facing ups and downs. Whereas the companies or the organization which came on the built up of Tamas came with a short term view, short term vision, and they have lost somewhere in their success story. When you try to talk about working of gunas and its affection or effectiveness in organization, we find that the mind's psychological qualities are highly unstable and quickly fluctuate between different gunas. The predominant guna of mind acts as a lens that affects our perception and perspective of the world around us. If the mind in Rajas, it will experience world events as chaotic, confusion, and demanding, and it will then have a strong tendency to continue to react an event in a Rajasic way. So, these gunas can individually or collective affect an individual working in an organization as a group member or as an individual. As it has been seen that Sattva Guna denotes the person which has moral aptitude and has fully dedication upon work and complete peace and rest. Rajas Guna denotes the person's mind which is not stable and flickering. When you try to see the Tamas Guna of an individual working at an organization, it depicts feeling of anxiety and is not able to decide anything. Certain values may be assigned to these gunas. They can be increased or decreased. To reduce the effect of tamas guna on an individual, we can avoid things like oversleeping, overeating, inactivity, festivity, fearful situations, as well as to reduce rajas as a guna in an individual. Things like overexercising, overwork, loud music, excessive thinking, and consuming excessive material goods can also be avoided. The important factor till discussion we found that sattva to be the most dominating characteristics which leads a balanced life could be increased by reducing both rajas and tamas by enjoying activities and environments that produce joy and positive thoughts. When we talk about the gunas, they create attachment and bind oneself to the ego. When one arises about the three gunas that originate in the body, one is free from birth, old age, disease, death, and attains enlightenment. The above referred gunas are found in every person. Sometimes sattva prevails in him, then he is calm and tranquil. He reflects and meditates. At other times, rajas prevails in him, and he does various sorts of worldly activities. He is passionate and active. Sometimes tamas prevails in the same individual. Then he becomes lazy, dull, inactive, and careless. Tamas generates delusion. Again, one of these gunas is generally predominant in different individuals. A sattvic person is virtuous. He leads a pure and pious life. A rajasic person is passionate and active. A tamasic person is dull and inactive. Sattva makes a man divine and noble. Rajas makes him thoroughly human and selfish. And tamas makes him bestial and ignorant. There is much sattva in a sage or a saint, and there is much rajas in a soldier, politician, and a businessman. These three gunas dominate one's personality and have impact on overall performance and productivity at workplace. In recent times, the corporate world has taken cognizance of these factors and looked forward for suitable models to train their manpower to extract the best out of them as they are the assets of the organization. An organization can substantially train and retrain their people working by the help of theory of guna. And this is the important implementation of theory of guna in organizational functioning. With this, we come to the end of the presentation. Thanks for the patient listening. Thank you.